Welcome back to Grim Captivation. Ooh, spooky. Ooh. I forgot to mention this whole time, my name's Jackson, and this is my channel. And I'm here with, I would consider my co-host, my wife. I don't know if you want to mention your name. No, just wife? Just wife. Okay. Just wife. Yeah, I actually just realized that today. So, I am the host of the show. Welcome to Grim Captivation. And yeah, today, without going into any other introductions, because might as well just get straight to the point, we're going to be talking about 5 haunted or cursed paintings. I thought that would be an interesting topic to kind of cover, because there's, I'm pretty much introducing, cursed and haunted objects, I guess you could say. Rumored, I guess. A lot of people will say yes, a lot of people will say no. So, a lot of controversy, but that's the whole thing with the paranormal, is that it's filled with controversy. So, I thought paintings would be an interesting idea or topic to kind of dive into. So, that's what we're doing here. I only listed 5 because there are other ones out there, but I thought the 5 that I included was pretty much interesting to me. So, yeah, that's what we're doing here. As always, reading off a script that, I got from sources and I wrote around, so that's that. Yeah, here we go, delving into it. Yeah. Paintings have been around for a while, I would say, hundreds and hundreds of years, depicting not only the lifestyles and the environment of the artists and creators, but they're pretty much their own thoughts and emotions during their time, depicting, whatever imagery or whatever they choose to paint over. Many paintings contain, lighthearted messages or showcase, the beauty that the world we live in. And the talents of so many artists are incredible to explore. Of course, because of this show, there are also painters and artists whose projects are grim, representing the darkness of the human heart. In between all of this are the artists who, simply love to produce art for the fun of it, and while their intentions are not bad, the item itself could wind up being the product of something malevolent. So for this episode, I'll be talking about 5 cursed paintings and their backstories. Although there are more, the 5 paintings are among the top listed, whenever you search up haunted and cursed paintings. Some of these are on the list. So are these paintings really haunted or cursed with, bad auras, a lingering spirit, or actually having a curse on it? Well, there's a lot of rumors and guesses to be made. So let's get right into it. The first painting is actually one that I've heard of a few years back, and it's called The Anguished Man. And that's kind of still floating around, especially around the YouTube realms, so it's still kind of there. This story revolves around a man called Sean Robinson, and I read through what he had reported on this site called Live About, and that's kind of where I got it from. And they actually managed to get some quotes from him, actually, so supposedly. He says this, his grandmother, or quoting from him, I guess, my grandmother had this painting in her attic for 25 years. She said it was evil. She told us she used to see the dark figure of a man around the house, and at night she heard strange noises and crying. She told me that the artist committed suicide shortly after finishing it, and that he had used his own blood mixed in with the oils. And after the grandmother died, we got the painting, and it is currently in our basement. Shortly after we got the painting, various members of the family started seeing the dark figure of a man. At night we began to hear the noises, and just recently we've heard the crying and moaning. Toby. The painting is still in our house, and although I never believed in the supernatural, I am now convinced that there is something evil about this painting. And this was years back when he first, I guess, reached out to somebody. So I think this was 20, I don't even know, 12, 15. Kind of forgot to research the year that it got out. So yeah, it appears that this apparition, so to speak, is stuck in the painting, and the pain of the artist was pretty much so great that it clung to the closest thing that it could find, and that being, pretty much the passion of the depressed, anguished man. Kind of linking that dark emotion, very depressed man, of course, like that kind of gives spirits to really cling on and linger, for a while. The story continues. The noises have been getting worse. We have heard crying coming from the corner of our bedroom. We started seeing the dark figure standing at the bottom of the bed, just staring at us. It seems to be a middle-aged man, but his features are not very clear. As a former skeptic, I am very curious, so I'm moving the painting into our bedroom. Previously, it's been in a cupboard downstairs. I'm feeling apprehensive and a little scared. A year later, another update comes to catch the paranormal happenings. I set the camera up once more in the spare bedroom. The painting has been stored away since the last recording. I recorded over 3 nights for approximately 4 hours per night between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. I recorded the usual banging noises, but on the second night at approximately 3:25, I recorded the painting suddenly falling over, and immediately afterward, a small orb is visible just above the painting. There were no drafts in the room, and the painting stood at an angle against the wall, so it could not have been able to tip over by itself. I also experienced the strange mist again at the top of the stairs. It was like I was suddenly surrounded by smoke, and I became very cold, and then it just vanished as quickly as it came. So very interesting. So what's really inside of this painting? Like I mentioned before, it could be the actual anguished spirit of the depressed artist, since his blood is literally mixed in with the paint, which is kind of crazy to think about. So what would happen if the owner did bring it around in public, though? Like, what if he, released it out and and tried to give it to somebody else? Would the spirit be released from the painting since it's kind of out, or is it kind of stuck inside the painting forever? I think that it's widely accepted that the deceased spirit of the man himself, the actual anguished man, is trapped inside the case. But yeah, just let me know your thoughts. I don't know about you. I think it's just the actual guy, the artist, that his depression was so bad that, after, the tragedy, I guess, his lingering spirit was just too much. And it's like, it was his passion, I guess, because he's a painter. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like it makes sense.
For it to be him.
For it to be him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting that, of course, and we'll get into it later, but between 1 and 5, the whole witching hour being 3 a.m., and or around, I guess you could say, around 3.
Yeah.
And it happens at 3:25 a.m., so it's a lot of spooky stuff happens around those dead of night hours. So
that's true.
Yeah. Next on our list involves one of the deadliest and infamous of serial killers, John Wayne Gacy. And yeah, his apparent self-portrait that he named Pogo the Clown. So, this disturbed and evil man was among the worst of the serial killers, stalking the city life of Chicago at night for young men while performing as Pogo the Clown during the day. After murdering over 30 people, he was placed in prison, after he was caught, of course, and that's actually where he started begin painting. So, there was a variety of things or styles to his paintings. And they actually ranged from landscapes to the 7 dwarves of, Snow White, all the way up to portraits of Disney, of Elvis, and even Jesus. So, yeah, it's a very wide range. And yeah. Of course, the worst of them all is his self-portrait of Pogo the Clown, depicting himself in his daytime job. Naturally, many paranormal believers and investigators think that any dark and malevolent spirit can really attach themselves to this painting because of the gruesome and personal killings of Gacy. So, in 2001, a musician by the name of Nicky Stone, I don't know that one, but whoever that was, purchased the painting, but regretted it over the next few years because not long after the purchase, his dog died, and his mother was diagnosed with cancer. Fearing that the painting pretty much did this, he lent it to a friend whose neighbor, so the friend's neighbor, tragically died in a car accident soon after he received the painting.
Oh, Lord.
And then after passing it to a second friend, so like the friend of the friend, they actually attempted suicide after receiving the painting. So it's a lot of dark energy and auras. Yeah. So Recently, the star of Ghost Adventures, Zach Baggins, I want to say Baggins, but it's not Baggins. I want to say Baggins, is the owner of the alleged cursed painting. Along with it, Baggins is also the owner of the hospital gown of Charles Manson and the glasses of Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah, it's crazy. So if any of these items can be cursed or haunted, hopefully Baggins has them protected somehow with a lot of darkness surrounding it. And I thought that's crazy. Like, he has all those items from all those like serial killers. I'm like, that's insane. And I'm like, of course they would be well, I wouldn't say of course, but like I would see them being haunted, or at least having an evil spirit act in its way, kind of like how Annabelle is. You know, it acts as a conduit inside the item. I would say so, but yeah. So not a lot of cases surrounding around John Wayne Gacy's painting, but the few times that it was reported, still terrible. So I don't know. Third on the list comes from a famous painter called Edvard Munch. And if somebody doesn't know the actual name, his piece titled "The Scream" is an image that pretty much everyone has seen before, with a figure on a bridge, open mouth and wide-eyed, and its hands on either side of its face. Yeah, everybody's has seen it. Well, I'll put a image here. Yeah, it'll be there. Everybody's seen it pretty much. But today we cover one of his other paintings called "The Dead Mother," or sometimes "The Dead Mother and Her Child." So during Munch's life, he produced a few different versions of the Dead Mother, possibly to represent the reoccurring tragedies in his life. So not only did his father die when he was young, and his mother died of tuberculosis, but two of his siblings also passed away when he was young. This is terrible. And then his remaining sister's mental health just began to decline very steeply after that. The painting itself shows a young girl who was shocked and in distress as her mother lays in a bed behind her, representing her death. As most of the time, the mother is pretty much like pale and very much still, and is still motion. So a few people sometimes are in the background, but choose pretty much not to help, the girl in the picture. Or some say when it comes to talking about the context of the art, if there's people behind her, they don't help her, kind of thing. Because you can always go deep into art and what they represent. When asked about the paintings, Munch said, "Illness, insanity, and death were the black angels that kept watch over my cradle and accompanied me all my life." So, that's pretty grim. So, what makes this painting haunted or cursed? Some viewers actually claim to see the child's eyes watching them as they walk in different directions, or they've heard the sound of bed sheets rustling. So, like the mother is laying inside the bed, and they think that they hear the bed sheets kind of rustling, like the mother is actually moving, which is kind of spooky as well too. So is the spirit of Munch's deceased sister trapped in this painting, or his mother, perhaps? Watching the everyday life of people pass them by. There could be a lot of guesses for this one, but for me, I settle on either his sister or his mother, since they're the ones in the painting itself. And it seems like those two deaths had the most impact on him. So that's what I think. That's possible. That
stuck there.
Yeah, it's like a linger. That's the whole thing of like a lingering spirit that. For one, two of his siblings died when they're young. His mother died from tuberculosis was common, but it's unfortunate. So it's, I don't know, makes sense for me to have either one of them kind of just stuck there, which would be terrible, just reliving over and over again, just in one place. But, fourth on the list is actually a painting that isn't cursed per se, but stems from more of a rumor. Which is interesting. This painting is called "Man Proposes, God Disposes." And the dark element to this piece is more about what happened in the scene, or, rather than like current or recent events. So it's kind of like the tragic story of the past is really the more macabre sense of this painting. This painting of two polar bears savagely attacking human remains depicts an imaged episode in the mysterious and grisly tale of Sir John Franklin's 1845 failed expedition to find the Northwest Passage. So finding this pass was extremely important to British merchants and sailors in the 19th century, as it would link the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. By 1848, there was, when no word had been heard of the voyage, a lot of search and rescue missions were sent out, and few found anything concrete until John Ray headed a mission in 1854, and he spoke to the local Inuit community who had met some of the remaining crew after they had abandoned their ships and who had found the bodies of the men the following years. They also found objects from the expedition, including a telescope seen in the actual painting. And most gruesome, of course, was their discovery of bones belonging to the members of the crew, which showed the marks of cannibalism. So, there's a lot of debate concerning like the fates and decisions of the crewmates and how they could pretty much stoop to a level of cannibalism. I suppose like the grisly and dark remains is the reason why this painting is rumored to be haunted, I suppose, more than cursed. There's actually a rumor that in the classroom, that's in a classroom of, the Royal Holloway University of London, it's caused multiple students to fail when the painting is on display. So because of this, the painting is always covered when the exams take place, which is interesting.
Wow.
Additionally, the superstitious practice came about due to an urban legend, so it's more of an urban legend, that was in the 1970s, where a student who viewed the painting felt compelled to die during her exam. But supposedly after staring into the polar bear's eyes, the student fell into a trance-like state of madness and etched onto her paper, "The polar bears made me do it." This, of course, actually never happened. It's just a spooky urban legend, so it's kind of interesting. But it's eventually kind of spread and led to the ritual of covering the painting during exams. So, I don't know. Although the rumors of the painting aren't really as macabre as the other ones here, the backstory of the painting itself is very dark compared to, like, a lot of things. But, having this huge expedition that everybody is, like, really excited about, back in the day, of course, in the 1800s, and then only for it to end up not only fail, but to have most of the crew members die, resort to cannibalism, and then their remains aren't found until years later. So that's pretty terrifying in itself, I think. So, the last painting on the list is called Minovia, or simply otherwise named Portrait of a Lady. This was made by a Filipino painter named Juan Luna. This painting is pretty simple in nature as it pertains to his wife, Paz Pardo de Tavera. Did I say that right?
No.
It's close to Spanish. So.
Whoa, why?
Oh, I'm just making sure that I said it right. But,
can you repeat it?
Paz Pardo de Tavera.
Paz Pardo
Yeah. De Tavera.
de Tavera?
Yeah. Pretty close. Huh?
Pretty close.
However, the story behind it, once again, is, the darker side to this piece. This is because Juan Luna murdered his wife and mother-in-law with a shotgun. So her brother Felix was also shot, but survived the incident. So that's kind of how that kind of got out. Juan Luna, known to be an incredibly jealous spouse, often accused his wife of infidelity or cheating, pretty much. And it was during one of these violent arguments that she and her mother were murdered. Luna was acquitted of murder on the grounds that it was a crime of passion, which was perpetrated in a fit of temporary insanity. It is said that this painting was in progress during the time of the murder. So he was painting this, in the process when he pretty much snapped and killed them both. So, of course, with a murder of jealousy and passion, it would also make sense for such a personal painting to be, considered haunted, cursed, things like that. The legend claims that de Tavera's spirit actually attached herself to the painting and took vengeance upon all the previous owners of the painting, so whoever gets passed down the painting. These tragedies included bankruptcy, miscarriages, and sudden deaths. So, a lot of terrible things. Right now it's kept in a museum, and so far there are no other tragedies, so is this painting really cursed? Or for its previous owners, or is it all just, like a string of made-up stories, hoax, things like that? The same can go for a lot of these paintings, or all of them, really. And it actually takes me back to the topic of having a spirit trapped in an item or location. If spirits can truly be trapped, it's possible for them to stay in painting. I would say so. But what are your guys' thoughts on having these paintings being cursed and haunted? Having cursed and haunted paintings is always based on terrible, dark events in the past, and with it comes the residence of pretty much an angry, lonely, or even vengeful spirit. So, whoever the owner is, owner, obviously has to kind of go through the past life, all the tragedies and whatnot. So, I don't know. What you guys' thoughts? I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's possible for some of these paintings to house a vengeful spirit?
Oh yeah.
I think so.
For sure.
Like a couple of these definitely, like the first couple, like I could definitely see it happening. A lot of the paintings that deal with death, like an unjust death with somebody, I feel like would make more sense for me. But I don't know. You have any final thoughts about haunted, cursed paintings at all?
No, but I did the Anguished Man and the John Wayne Gacy really intrigued me.
Yeah.
I didn't know about those.
Yeah.
So pretty scary.
Yeah.
But I like that. I like that someone actually has Bogo the Clown's painting. That's crazy.
That's creepy too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's really something to show off.
No.
I don't think so, because it's like...
That's something to burn.
That's, yeah. Yeah, that's what I think. It's like, they really shouldn't be able to linger on at all,
No, not even after death.
No, but I don't know. People are fascinated with that kind of stuff, especially with serial killers, just because, like, not only is there a lot of true crime shows and podcasts and all that stuff, but people actually collect stuff just because it's, I don't know,
they love
dark.
them.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I would not. I would never have any of a serial killer's items at all.
That
never.
itself is just bad energy. Bad aura.
And then the whole Anguish Man thing was on one of our YouTubers that we watch. Actually,
yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember the painting. That's what I was like,
Yeah, because like at first, like the video itself isn't scary at all, but like you have to read the backstory to like really know.
Understand it.
Yeah, like the painting itself is kind of like
it's dark,
creepy itself. Like the actual image of the Anguish Man. That's what that was my favorite among the list. Yeah, just because it is creepy. But
there's a story behind it too. I didn't know that. That's pretty.
Yeah, and it's an old painting too. Like over probably. Well, I mean, by now probably like close to 50 maybe. Because like the grandmother had it for 25 years already, and then it was like years after that they started reporting all that. I don't know. It's an older painting, but I don't know. But yeah, like I said, be sure to let us know what you guys think about cursed paintings and whatnot. I'll continue the list of cursed and haunted objects one more time until I go back into other stuff. But I will return again with cursed haunted objects because there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff to cover. So I just wanted to do a quick 3 episodes, introductory, what it's about, things like that. I think it's pretty decent like that. So the next cursed and haunted objects is one of my favorite ones. So hopefully I did a good enough job researching it. I actually found one of the books that I've been wanting to get. I found it online. And I got another one too. Recently I got Encyclopedia of Witchcraft and Demonology, so I'm going to read through that. Oh yeah. Because the show is basically revolved around that. A lot of dark stuff happenings. But yeah, I think that's everything for this episode. I don't know, do you have anything else to add?
No, I just really enjoyed the story behind those 2 paintings.
Yeah, the first 2.
Anything. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them have dark and grisly backstories. Oh yeah. So kind of
more than anything because we're close, to the area where John Wayne Gacy, lived and whatnot.
Yeah, and that's creepy enough already. So yeah. Okay, yeah. I think with everything being said, stay tuned for another episode. And just remember to stay spooky.
Boo.
Goodbye.